This is Brian with Transparency and Merit. And Stoic, understanding and blame. So there's been a lot of contention lately. And anger. There's been anger on my part. And I'll say hello, Darren. There's been anger on my part, and there's been anger on a lot of people's part out there. And the John Wayne show that I did, episode that I did, has gotten a lot of responses. There were a lot of missteps and things that I guess I regret to a point. But it has really gotten a lot of contention out there. And I'm just going to, again, and these are my own personal thoughts about certain things, but I want to address the issue that the two veterans have been kind of arguing about. Kind of disappoints me. I mean, and actually, the younger vet is saying that the older person, the older veteran, may not be a veteran at all, and he is being accused of stolen valor. I just want to pull that up real quick. And that, I don't really know whether that's true or not. I'm not here to, it's not for me really important to investigate. And I should have investigated the show about the statue beforehand. It was wrong because it's not being taken down. It's an exhibit, but I read something on the internet and I didn't check it. That is my fault. But, and it's also my anger. I've been kind of angry at the left to a degree. I feel as though, they're not trying to get understanding. They're just trying to blame. And I feel to a large degree that John Wayne is someone who is, his memory and other things is being maligned. But I also, like I said, I've been angry and I've maligned people myself, even my own parents. I was, as a person, as a young man and through my major adulthood, I did not get along with my father until his death. I even had problems with my mother to a degree. And the moments of anger at them, most of it I do regret. And had I had it to do over again and handle it differently, I would. And this is only me speaking and speaking for myself. Um, when someone issues me an apology, I usually accept it unless they owe me money or they've like physically done me harm. Then like a part of me like, hey, I want you to be punished for that. But a word, you know, it wasn't as a grown man. It wasn't spoken to me as a child, like because my father spoke really nasty things to me, and as a child, and was a little bit harsher and not as understanding at my circumstances than I thought he should be. But thinking back on it, like I said, I held those grudges and those angers for a very long time. And had I had it to do over again, like I said, I would do it differently. A lot of my moments of anger, I would absolutely do differently. I mean, for example, I've loaned people money I would never loan again. I mean, it cost a friendship. I wouldn't have loaned him as much, and had he not paid me back in a due diligent amount of time, he wouldn't be my friend anymore. But I would just let that go. But this was a great sum of money that, and each time I got myself more and more in the hole with him because I continued to believe this person. But that was my fault. Uh, I wasn't thinking clearly. And that's the main point. I'm going to just mention that I want to mention Darren and Dennis are both in my chat room. So this person, like I said, and I want to just touch on the two veterans real quick. The person one of the persons may or may not be a veteran. And I don't know. That's what he's been accused of. And I don't know. But it's really contentious. And the manner in which he's claiming, and one of the things that he is claiming is that, he put up a picture of, I guess, a book of the Vietnam Brown Water Navy. Now, he may have been on that ship. That is being pictured, or it may not be, and he may not be a veteran at all. He may be a veteran. It may be a misunderstanding. Not sure. But like I said, it's a point of contention. He also mentioned cancel culture, and that he stood up to this. He stood up to this veteran, and that's how you deal with cancel culture. But cancel culture is like, it's a group. It's not just one person. It's usually a group that tries to cancel you, and they basically will go after your business or your employment and try to economically blacklist you. So you cannot, they'll try to destroy your business or destroy your place of employment for speaking your mind. It's kind of like a modern day lynch mob. And they're doing this all over social media. And the mainstream media, much of it is behind Black Lives Matter, and they kind of support it. They're in the bag for it. And those who speak out against it are demonetized and kind of blacklisted to a degree. And there is a lot of blame and little to no understanding. some of the people, when I talk to them, and some of them are like, I would say, are family members, and it's almost like I don't know, like Patty Hearst or a Jim Jones type of person. Like they're so fanatical that they tend to get really upset. I've been threatened to be blocked and on Facebook, and I don't continue the conversation after that. I've mentioned how authoritarian Black Lives Matter and Antifa are, and there is kind of proof that both Antifa and Black Lives Matter kind of work together. May not be true, but I think there should be kind of investigation in on that to see like how radical some of the members are, and it does kind of frighten me, and it's based on anger. Conservatives also have anger, and they also are at times not apt to listening. So again, both should be apt to listening and talking to one another. But today it's the liberals and the left that are kind of acting like the Archie Bunker, telling people to shut up and saying really kind of foolish and untrue things. And a lot of them shut down debate, open debate. Now, this is the left that has shut down conservative speakers. I don't have the name of the list off the top of my head, but they go in there and they don't let them speak, and they want people to believe in this leftist woke religion. And I guess I don't know if there's any getting through to them. At least most of them anyway. At least that's the way it looks to me. And again, John Wayne, I feel to a degree he's been kind of maligned and really taken apart by people that don't like him. And he did mention that, like the younger veteran mentioned that that he doesn't like the fact. You know what? I don't want to use his. Let me look for his words real quick, and then we'll go and hold on, folks, while I look for the exact words that this gentleman said, so I don't. Okay, he actively evaded the draft. Where is it the last? I'm kind of like looking for it. Let me see here. Hold on, folks, while I look for this younger veteran who I believe served in Afghanistan. I don't know if he served in Iraq as well. So if I make a mistake, it's perhaps an honest. Okay. Sorry, you know what? These things are kind of all over the place. So my message board on transparency and merit are a little bit all over the place. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. And he says, "Did you notice that I'm an hour?" Okay, that's not the one. Good Lord. Oh, here we go. So he did say, "I feel honored," and you know what? He is. I mean, if you look at him, he looks like a real like a really tough, and maybe even to a degree like a stoic. The presence of stoicism, just and he's standing by what he says. I don't think he's like these leftists, but he says, "What I detest are cults of personality, which is precisely what was formed around this Hollywood cowboy. He represented Americana no more than William Shatner represents the planet. It's actually becoming entertaining now to see how many people are equating an attack on a Hollywood actor as an attack on America." And I don't think anyone, I don't think that people, I'm I'm of the personal belief that nobody should be held to the high esteem of that we should honor really any American. We should honor like Fourth of July. It's about, to me, America is about the Constitution and about our freedoms and about due process and things like that. That we should honor. I really don't necessarily believe in honoring any human being, or I don't know if that's even a good idea. And that's something that I'm willing even to discuss with someone who's willing to discuss that with me. And I'm open to new ideas. For me, John Wayne was a very entertaining actor. I really enjoyed him. When I think of him, I kind of think of my deceased father and even my deceased parents, uh, who, like I said, my father loved John Wayne. He more admired John Ford and the films that he made, and it's just something that's more nostalgic for me. And again, I don't like necessarily putting anyone on a pedestal, but I also do not like someone being maligned. And he has children. Um, Actually, my father knew his oldest son, who's recently passed away. But I believe, and I don't know how many kids he has. I know that he has two children that are still alive, Patrick and Ethan. Ethan was, I think, named after his character in The Searchers, which is a great film. I think my favorite film with John Wayne, and that and The Cowboys, which The Cowboys being his most progressive Western, two of my favorite films. Some more may come to mind, but I've always considered him enjoyable. But again, uh, I feel like, man, the mob is taking over. There's a person who, I don't know if she is running or was running for Congress, but she has a page of her running for Congress, and we were talking about Black Lives Matter and cancel culture. And the mob came for her like nobody's business. And to a degree, it's almost like when you talk to some of these people, it's almost like talking to, I guess Patty Hearst when she was first coming out of that whole incident with the, I guess, the Sudanese Liberation Army, or like a cult of Jim Jones drinking the Kool-Aid. And there are people on the right that are just as cultish as well. I don't agree with them. The only difference that I see is the right, at least today, the right wing cults are not protected by the American establishment, and not only by the American establishment, it seems like it's a worldwide thing, the leftist establishment, and the leftist establishment, to a degree, allows for political violence, which we see with Antifa. We see in the city of Portland. We saw in the city of Seattle, the city, or they called it the city of Chaz, Chud, or whatever, going absolutely insane and crazy. So there's only right now, and as of now, that's what it looks like to me. I welcome your feedback, but I'm against fanaticism wherever I find it. And I personally try to control my anger. And some of the shows that I did, I was angry. People, it kind of slipped me up, but it's the last show I did. There's a person on there, Debbie Daly. She kind of slipped me up. She made me angry, and I made myself angry. It was my lack of control, but kind of went off on her just because. And I mean, she was saying things that, in my opinion, it was not constructive criticism. It was just out of cruelty. Look, I know this show doesn't get a lot of hits. Not many people listen to it. There are a few reasons for that. Probably my production value is not that good, and maybe I'm not as polished as other people. I started this organization just because I want debate, and I want people with different opinions than mine. I want to learn from them. Hopefully, people that are more intelligent than I am, can come in. Maybe they'll just scorn me and not want to say anything, and they'll want to, mentally crucify me. People have been known to do that. So come what may, I just, again, from what I'm observing, things are not in a healthy way. And there's a lot of purity tests out there, and there's a lot of digital lynch mobs, and it feels like the people who are, the angry lynch mobs are the people that are in control. And I'll call them angry leftist lynch mobs. And I could assume that back in the day, the angry right-wing lynch mobs were in control. It was wrong then. It's wrong now. So, yeah. Look, I think for me, the best way to deal with it is not to be angry, or at least not to react with anger. Hopefully there are people there that can think for themselves and have an open mind. I mean, at least be willing to hear. I mean, and I want to be able and willing to hear things that are uncomfortable. I mean, and what that gentleman said about John Wayne was uncomfortable, but I think he made a few good points. What the younger veteran, I don't want to say his name unless if he gave me permission, I would do it, but I don't want to put anything on blast at this point. But that even welcomed me on my show. I mean, there is an interesting point about putting people, John Wayne or anyone else, a Hollywood actor, on a pedestal that they represent Americana. To a degree, I see what you're saying. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I do listen to it. And I thank anyone for listening to this show, to Hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you don't like my show and you don't like me, I'd like to, I mean, like, hopefully it's constructive. Please tell me why. Without saying the sound and the production quality, I haven't been able to get a better mic and stuff. But just hopefully constructive criticism, because I'm just here to improve and get better on a number of things. So thank you for listening, and have a good day.